Parents, family, teachers, staff, friends, and the board of directors, I present to you the graduating class of the School for Entrepreneurship and Technology, the class of 2024. Meredith, can you come to the stage, please? Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by our very own Tiffany Meredith, accompanied by our own Israel Maldonado. I'm just scanning the audience to see if there's a potential guest. I don't see him. All right. You might arrive later, and then I'll introduce him later. I would now like to invite Ms. Geist to the podium to deliver the invitation. Graduates, let's give a hand for the first time presiding over a Set High graduation to our assistant principal, Ms. Geist.
Good morning, beautiful people. That was pretty good. Whenever McClendon did that, he had to do a repeat. So y'all are good today. I'm proud of you for that. It is an honor to welcome you to the graduation of the incredible class of 2024. As we begin this ceremony, let us recognize and respect the indigenous people as traditional stewards of this land. Specifically, we recognize the Kumeyaay people whose ancestral homelands we stand on today. We extend our respect and gratitude to the indigenous people who have lived on and cared for this land. And as the original caretakers and conservationists, we honor their continued legacy of understanding, caretaking, and creating a world that is better than we found it. This class, the class of 2024, has left Set better than they found it. As I look on this stage and out at all of you, I see beauty in our diversity. We are Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, and so much more. We are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, atheist, and so much more. We are straight, gay, bi, pan, and so much more. We are cisgendered and transgendered and non-binary and so much more. And yet today, right now, we gather as one. What a beautiful glimpse into what the world could be. This is an imperfectly beautiful class of students who have been taught by an imperfectly beautiful staff of educators and have been supported by an imperfectly beautiful village of people. What a beautiful glimpse into what the world could be. As I conclude, I invite you to close your eyes or bow your head or just take a couple deep breaths, whatever feels comfortable for you. Today, I hope we all take the time to sit in gratitude. I hope we all take the time to cry and smile and laugh as we reminisce on this past journey. I hope we all take a moment or two to revel in the excitement of a journey that might be ending, but marvel in the new journey that's just beginning. This class of 2024, you've given so much to Set High. You are a beautiful glimpse to what the world could be. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2024. Back to Dr. McCurdy.
Thank you, Ms. Geist. I could listen to her talk all day long. Before we continue with the commencement ceremony, I want to share some thoughts that I've had this year about the fragility of perfection, the adjustments that I think all of us need to make about our expectations of self and our expectations of others. Most of us expect excellence out of ourselves and out of our loved ones, and the closer we are to someone, the higher those expectations can be. Rarely is a mother's love allowed to be just good enough. We expect it to be exactly what we need at every moment. Perfection. A best friend's attempt at gratitude might feel a little flat. They could have done better. They could have said more. Our own self-loathing when we make a mistake is even worse. How could I have said that? Why didn't I think of that? Why can't I write better, learn faster, be quicker with a witty comment? What's wrong with me? The closer we are to someone, the more we expect out of them. No one's closer than ourselves. So of ourselves, we demand perfection. This speech is about giving ourselves, our loved ones, and those closest to us a break. Because perfection is hard. Perfection is fragile. Everything leading to perfection has to be, well, perfect. And as we'll see today, there's a lot that can go wrong on the path to perfection. Let's be a little easier on ourselves. Let's be a little easier on those who we're closest to. This message is particularly important for these graduates to hear, because this is our highest academically achieving class ever. Look at the number Look at the number of names that are on the yellow cord list in your programs. These are the students whose state test scores last year helped us win the California Distinguished School Award. There are a lot of perfectionists on this stage. I want to start by examining what makes perfection so fragile. This speech was nearly derailed by a canker sore. As I tried to compose my thoughts for today, I found myself distracted by a tiny sore in my tongue. It consumed my attention and made it difficult to focus on anything else, let alone the theme for a graduation speech. The pain of the canker sore highlighted how something small can completely derail our efforts and wound up becoming the inspiration for this speech. Let's reframe this idea in terms that are maybe a little more relatable to some of our seniors. Volleyball. Specifically, boys volleyball. Even more specifically, league champion boys volleyball. East Step Boys has some serious skill this year. There are hints of perfection throughout the season. A perfect bump, a perfect set, a perfect fake, and a perfect spike. It was beautiful. This was a perfection that extended beyond the individual. This was a system of perfection. Our boys were capable of it. I saw it. We all saw it. It was oh so sweet for those of us watching as fans. I'm sure it was all the sweeter for those who were actually playing. A moment of perfection serving as the exclamation point on hours of practice and refinement. The perfect set followed by the perfect spike. If there was a canker sore in any of their mouths, it But perfection is fragile. It should be as simple as bump, set, spike, right? But an errant bump that's a little too close to the net, recovered with off-balance grace and set up but a little too short, so the spiker's jump is mistimed and the in-air adjustment isn't quite enough to compensate, resulting in a spike that's easier to block. The whole sequence is fluid and impressive, with the expert reactions and adjustments to imperfection, but it's not quite perfect, and the result is a lost point. The errant bump that started this whole sequence maybe wasn't caused by a canker sore, but it was surely caused by something just as pernicious. Maybe it was a catch in the shoulder that was felt during the last serve. Maybe it was the brain going into overdrive, demanding focus and annoying, hyper-focused, unhelpful loop. A loop, never ending and never helpful. Maybe now was the time that the player's brain decided to rehash an argument that happened earlier in the day. Maybe the bruise on the knee that happened during last week's game decided to make itself felt. Maybe the childhood jeers of "you choked" from middle school decided to replay themselves at this inopportune time. So much has to go right for perfection. The correct thoughts need to be accentuated. The unhelpful thoughts need to be squelched. The right muscles need to be firing perfectly. The wrong muscles need to be relaxing appropriately. In the system of a volleyball team, the stakes are even higher because these perfect thoughts and muscle firings need to be synchronized across multiple people. It's a wonder that anything close to perfection ever happens. The probabilities of success for a sequence of events is multiplicative. This means that if we have a good bumper, a good setter, and a good spiker, each of whom has, say, an 85% chance of success, the overall probability of a perfect sequence is 85% times 85% times 85%, which equals 61%. 3 B's turns into a D. 3 A's turns into a C. Now this is a little oversimplified because an excellent spiker can potentially reverse the previous errors. So for those of you who are already distracting yourselves from the rest of my speech by doing your own calculations, just hear me out. I'll probably get to what you're thinking later in the speech. This is a crazy smart group of students with equally smart parents that I'm asking for trouble with this speech. Anyway, what about the sequence of steps that need to work right for each of our players? Thousands of things need to go right. The correct muscles need to fire at the correct time. The nerves on the bottom of the feet need to communicate the placement of the foot on the floor. The nerves throughout the body need to communicate the angle of each limb and the current position of each muscle. The inner ear needs to signal the current orientation of the head. The ears need to communicate the squeak of other players' shoes. And of course, the two eyes need to communicate what's in the visual field. The brain needs to process all of this information, resolve it, remove the extraneous noise of the fans, ignore the coach's instructions, the other coach's instructions, but listen to your own. And then finally send the correct signal back down to all the muscles. And then repeat at least 100 times per second. That one bump that needed 95% accuracy to get us the 70% chance of winning the point needed thousands of things to happen with near perfect accuracy in order to multiply out to 95%. It's pretty remarkable when you think of it. And yet, we beat ourselves up when we're not perfect. We beat up our loved ones when they're not perfect. And we rail on others when they are anything short of perfect. Maybe it's time to be a little easier on ourselves. Maybe it's time to be a little more compassionate with others. Life rarely needs perfection, but good enough can be just as difficult to achieve. And the difference between disaster and success can be smaller than a canker sore. I have a friend whose son is now a successful student. He's able to focus on his study, be kind and respectful to his peers, and listen attentively to his coaches on the soccer field. He didn't used to be this way, though. His mother received daily phone calls from the school because of behavior issues that included hitting his peers, running away from school, trashing the classroom almost weekly, and illegally using the fire extinguisher twice. And this was in kindergarten. The difference? A tiny pill the size of an aspirin. In this case, it was Ritalin. But the type of substance, or even the question of whether medication is the appropriate remedy for behavioral issues, isn't the point of the story. The point is that a tiny change in what we put into our bodies, or what our bodies are able to produce on their own, can have dramatic consequences on the course of someone's life. A boy like this one, who's unable to sit still in school, unable to focus in the style that the classroom expects, is going to have 12 years of his life be punctuated with punishment and ineffective learning. A few molecules makes the difference between a student being able to potentially enjoy 18 years of education, earning advanced degrees, and one who is locked out of the system by second grade. This was an example of a few molecules helping a student with focus, but sometimes extra molecules can have catastrophic effects. My mother accidentally took my father's Alzheimer's medication a number of years ago. Half a pill that was designed to help him with his memory problems landed her in the hospital for 3 days. Half of a pill nearly killed her. This is unfortunately less of a surprise to us today, now that we're all painfully aware of the fentanyl crisis, where as little as 2 milligrams of fentanyl can potentially be a fatal dose. For comparison, aspirin tablets are roughly 300 milligrams, so that's 150 times smaller, about the size of 2 salt crystals. There's an elephant tranquilizer called carfentanil that's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. So just 2.02 milligrams of this substance, something that's 15,000 times smaller than an aspirin, would be lethal, and even a smaller dose can ruin a life. So think of all the things that need to go right for us to just be good enough. In some cases, just to stay alive. We need to have the correct quantities of molecules in our bodies, where a 0.02 milligrams difference can be fatal. We need to have the correct level of attention to be able to focus at the right times. We need to be awake during the right times. And we need to be asleep at the right times. We need to give our bodies the right nutrients so that we can produce the right chemicals in the right quantities to help us balance happiness, anxiety, attention, and focus. Any of these chemicals out of balance can lead to conditions such as ADHD, depression, OCD, or bipolar disorder. When we're not feeling our best, when we're not focused enough, too tired, too anxious, too slow, too fatigued, we desperately search for ways to bring ourselves back to those moments when we felt our best. Most of us find ourselves yo-yoing between caffeine for focus during work, sugar for a midday energy boost, and alcohol or comfort foods to wind down at the end of the day. These are all basically drugs, legal drugs, that help us get closer to that ideal state of mind and performance level that's needed during the precise times of day that are often dictated by the needs of others. Add in the headaches caused by the stress, hangovers and caffeine withdrawal, and the painkillers to help manage these, and we basically have this carefully orchestrated ebb and flow of controlled brain states that is certainly unhealthy, but feels necessary in order for us to function in a stressful, interconnected community where the expectations of productivity and behavior are usually governed by others. Graduates, you'll spend all of your adult years trying to find the right balance of foods, exercise, relaxation, fun, and learning. This lifelong journey reflects the challenge of achieving good enough in a world that often demands perfection. Strive for excellence, but remember to be compassionate with yourself and others when you fall short of perfection. It's a lifelong process because your body and needs will constantly change. I was anti-caffeine through my 30s and needed to run every morning from the age of 16 in order to wake up and be productive. This was fine until knee surgery prevented me from running. Even with running, though, there were college lectures that I was interested in, that I knew that I needed to pay attention to in order to be successful, that I just could not keep my eyes open for. I've learned later in life that the right amounts of caffeine can help me get through those kinds of moments. Too much, though, and I won't sleep at all. Too much, and I'll likely wind up with a migraine later in the week. Now that I'm in my 50s, with my current level of fitness, I have finally found a good balance of exercise, food, stimulants, and depressants. Enough exercise to be active, but not so much that I get injured. The right kinds of food that I don't yo-yo between hyperactivity and lethargy. The right amount of caffeine with the right additional boosts on days that I need them. And ginger tea or non-alcoholic kombucha as my relaxing evening drink. This allows me to feel my best throughout each day. Each of you will go on your own journey of discovery. It will be lifelong. The fact that all of you are here today, graduating from high school, tells us that you have at least figured out how to get to good enough. The fact that so many of you have done school excellently is a testament to your ability to regulate yourselves. You have the right molecules in your brains. You have the right nutrients in your body. Be thankful of the good fortune that allowed you to have precisely what you need in order to focus, to be happy, to be productive, to be resilient, and to be tenacious. For those who don't quite have the right balance of chemicals, you clearly had family, friends, or the medical community to help with self-regulation through exercise, nutrition, or medicine. Each of you may have only come close to perfection a few times in your life, but you have at least learned to achieve good enough. And for that small miracle, you should congratulate yourself. For sure, you should stop beating yourself up over not achieving perfection with everything that you do. We should all have perfection be the ideal, to have it be a goal, but let's maybe not expect it of each other or of ourselves. Perfection is fragile, but thankfully there are a few times in life where you'll need perfection, because life is long and we have ample opportunities for second chances. In volleyball, there's another point, another set, another game, another season. You don't have to win games 25-0. An excellent spiker can adjust to a bad set, so the 3 A's don't necessarily become a C. The final A+ of the spiker may recover the point. The classes that I fell asleep in had textbooks offering other opportunities for learning the material. Failed tests can be countered by passing tests. Failed classes can be retaken. Grades can be repeated. School can be restarted. Bankruptcy can be declared. Arguments with friends can be worked through later when tempers are quieter. Our split-second decisions can be reconsidered, especially if we're careful not to advertise them in the moment. But even when we make mistakes publicly, we can usually work to correct them. The math in the world of second chances is one of averages. 3 A's don't turn into a C. They stay as an A. It's only if you get unlucky and something catastrophic happens that the averages no longer work for you. A wrong decision in a split second can lead to a horrible accident, for example. It is the non-zero probability of these kinds of events and the resulting dire consequences that causes us to put so much value on perfection. Those drivers next to me better be perfect in the moments that they pass me. My pilots better be perfect in the moment that they land the plane. The mechanic better have been perfect when installing the door on my plane. But really, even in these areas where perfection is necessary, we still have systems to limit the consequences. Lanes are wider than cars, allowing for drift. Pilots have co-pilots and automation equipment to help them land the plane. And that mechanic who forgot to tighten the bolts on the door had a team of quality assurance inspectors who apparently forgot to do their jobs one time. It's also debatable whether striving for perfection is even helpful. The fight or flight response that stress produces when adrenaline and cortisol are coursing through our bodies might be useful for getting us to run away quickly from an attacking animal, but it's rarely helpful in modern life. Stress makes us think less clearly. It makes us more error-prone. When we're playing a sport, we're usually trying to calm ourselves down, to relax, quiet the brain, and to let the automatic processes of our brain take over. When pilots are landing in the plane, we hope that they've done this hundreds of times and are performing the steps automatically. If they're thinking too much, they're probably going to make a mistake. So we like the qualities of perfection, but we don't necessarily want to worry about perfection. The worry will probably make us even less perfect than we would have been if we hadn't worried at all. But before I conclude, let me quickly summarize what we've talked about in case you need the cliff notes. 1, perfection is really difficult to achieve because of all the things that have to go right to get there. 2, even good enough is difficult. 3, small changes in body chemistry can derail everything. 4, we spend our lives trying to make the right adjustments to our body chemistry so that we can perform at our best with the goal of achieving perfection. 5, but perfection isn't necessary all the time because of the many second chances in life. 6, and perfection isn't necessary because we put up guardrails to protect us against the really catastrophic events that might appear to require perfection. 7, and actually, us thinking about perfection is exactly the wrong way to achieve perfection. Practice is what helps us get our conscious brains out of the way, allowing us to get closer to perfection. And 8, this one's new. In fact, the hard work of practice is made all the easier by loving what you do. So practice more by doing the things that you love, and then you have a chance of achieving perfection, and you won't even know that you're doing it. Graduates, I urge you to allow yourselves to be good enough. And let's please try to let our loved ones be good enough. Let's strive to be perfect, but let's be good enough with our understanding of each other. Let's strive to be the perfect friend, the perfect child, the perfect parent, the perfect student, the perfect boss, the perfect employee, and the perfect citizen. But let's allow ourselves and each other to be good enough. Most of us will have many opportunities to get things right, to reinvent ourselves, and to always strive to be better. Thankfully, for most of us, our life grade will be the average of everything that we do. I strive to have an A when I die. Perfection was out of reach the day I was born. I'm pretty sure that I was a colicky baby. But I hope an A is still achievable. Class of 2024, I know that you will all get an A in life. On your way there, allow room for some imperfection. And please, please, please allow yourself and your loved ones to be good enough. Thank you. We're now going to honor those graduates who have demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to community service. All graduates in the state of California are required to complete 15 hours of community service. Our graduates complete many more. Today we'll recognize those students who have demonstrated a commitment to service. Each of them has completed more than 150 hours of community service during their high school years. We've also given extra recognition to those students who have done over 300 hours of community service by giving them 2 red cords. It has been difficult to do, oh, never mind, that was from COVID year, so I'm not going to read that. Forgot to read that part of my speech. All right, so the red cord recipients are Catherine Bain, Avery Conrad gets 2 red cords. Harris O'Neill. Isaac Ramos gets 2 Gael Russo. Eridan Shedefield. Austin Strong. We have 2 additional ones who are not in the program, so we apologize for this. Deja George. Kai Schulteis. And Holland Wong. We have two. I really should have done some editing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 additional red cords that I would like to give out today. These are honorary red cords for those in our community who have easily reached 150 hours of community service through their support of our school. And I have Amor Castro, Juan Calderon, Officer David Kuhl, Judy Strom, and Eric Strom. Please come to the podium. Amor Castro is receiving a red cord for 7.5 years of service to SET, her hard work and dedication to our community, and her enormous love and care for our students. Juan Calderon for his inspiring coaching for our first ever season of flag football. Officer David Kuhl for his cool head and commitment to the safety of our school and community. He seemed to always be monitoring police radios and was the first one at school whenever we needed assistance. Judy Strom for her tireless work with the SET PA and her gorgeous pictures of graduation every year, even this one, and hopefully for years to come. And Eric Strom for being SET's #1 fan, our biggest proponent, and our best advertiser, for volunteering for every boring committee, being at every school event, and supporting our staff ferociously. We award 2 red cords.
Now we honor our gold cord recipients. Gold cords are given to students who have maintained outstanding GPAs throughout their high school years. A gold cord is given to each student who has a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. This is a truly impressive graduating class this year. We have never been even close to this number of gold cord recipients. There were many more who were just shy of that 3.5 GPA. The gold cord recipients are programs. Ashton Adams. Joe Ashton. Katie Bang. Ben De Los Rios. Cole Foster. Sammy Foster. Drew Freitas. Jenya Halliday. Colin Harris. Graham Johnson. Rowan King. Ryan Codis. Lane Kenny. Rachel McClintock. Tiffany Meredith. Michael Montez. Naomi Moreland. Karis O'Neill. Nathan Penrose. Kimberly Fong. Anthony Quinn. Becken Rojas. Gael Russo. Kai Schulteis. Ryan Sharp.
We scoot down a little bit.
I was getting worried. I was like, I'm gonna stop. Austin Strong. Justin Strong. Autumn Taylor. Holland Wong. And although she is not in the program, she definitely has a 3.5 or higher, Neve Martinez. Hope the lens is super wide on this one. Is it wide enough to get us off?
I don't know.
Scrunch up, you guys.
All right, we're good. Thank you, everyone. It's now time to honor the students who have earned the highest GPAs of all of the graduating seniors. The honor of salutatorian, the student who has the second highest GPA, goes to Justin Strong. I'll be graduating with Justin later in the program, so I'll save my accolades for then. Let me offer my congratulations for this huge accomplishment. No small feat, especially with this senior class. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Strong.
All right, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Just pull the mic down. It's not made for short people. Thank you all for being here today to watch this graduation ceremony. It's a great honor to be able to speak in front of you guys today. Hopefully my speech is not as identical to Austin as our faces are. Because Lennon always said that he's a more flowery writer than me. That's about right, considering that he wears the iron button-downs. My tees tend to go through a very delicate process of being left on the floor for a few days to get the right rigid look. Enough said about myself, though. Let's talk about the crazy high school experience we've had. I think I speak for most of us when I say that the last 4 years have been a wild ride. Enter 2020. A global pandemic has shut down the world. We're supposed to figure out how to start high school at home. What that really meant is we got more familiar with the snacks in our cabinets and where to find the mute button. Some of us struggled to learn online, some of us excelled, and pretty much all of us forgot how to take tests. No matter, we survived and made it to sophomore year, which meant we had to learn how to wear pants and shoes again. I wouldn't say everyone, but Dr. Purdy still wears sandals to school every day. Junior year was a year when some of us worked our butts off and didn't sleep. For everyone else, it was a year we figured out how to use ChatGPT. Whatever the case, soon after we got to blast through our senior year. or I guess sleep through it if you skip first period like most people. Most of us procrastinated our college applications this year, but fortunately, almost all of us are headed into a community college or university program by the end of this summer. Congrats to all of you. I think the biggest lesson we learned in the past 4 years is how well each of us can adapt to a rapidly changing environment. Despite the slight global pandemic that got thrown at us, we all managed to prevail and made it to graduation here today. As we move closer to our inbound college lives, take this resilience with you to your new environment and make the best of this change. Before I finish up here today, I'd like to thank some important people who have helped me throughout these last 4 years. Firstly, I'd like to thank my parents over here who have been amazingly supportive of my efforts. They've always been right there to help me get back on track when I've lost sight of my plans and goals. From setting the goals to achieving the goals, my parents have supported me from the start. One of these goals I made with my parents was to reach college and level mathematics during high school. Mr. Rotaro over here taught me during my first 2 years here at SET and helped me build the fundamentals for higher level math. My brother Austin was also invaluable to my success, helping with my college course planning and enrollment. Thanks to them, I was able to complete all of calculus and most of physics at the community college level. I must also thank Dr. McCurdy for the huge help he has been during my time here at SET. Whether it's a problem I'm working to resolve or a big decision I have to make, Dr. McCurdy has always been available to offer his help. You'd think I'm quite the troublemaker with how much time I've spent in the principal's office. Truly though, some of my most important decisions in high school were made with Dr. McCurdy's help, advice, and insight. Lastly, I'd like to thank my friends for being there when school got tough and when I got overwhelmed. Intentionally or not, you guys have helped me stay motivated through the hardest semesters. Thanks to all these people and the rest of the staff at this school, I am proud to say that I'm headed off to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo this fall for mechanical engineering. All of you will go on to do great things, and I wish everyone to have the best success in whatever field or profession you choose. Thank you, guys.
I would now like to introduce our valedictorian, the graduate who earned the highest GPA during his time at SET, Austin Strong. I'll also be graduating also later, so plan to hear more about his many accomplishments later this morning. Congratulations, Austin.
I'd say my heart was racing, but cross country taught me different. So, okay. As I start today, I'd like to thank the people of this community who I owe a huge thank you for everything that you've done for me. When I started attending SET High, I was a nobody. I was just another number from Marshall Middle School, with no awareness and no direction. Looking back now, my freshman year was a wanderer in a dark room, bumping into assignments as they came, and promptly forgetting all past and present responsibilities. That's who I was. Nobody. But this community changed me. And I would like to mention just a few of the many individuals who have shaped me over the past 4 years. Miss Geis, you became one of the first people to actually make me feel embarrassed about some of my, frankly, problematic behaviors. From you, I became aware of the impacts of my actions, and you helped me become a much more tolerable and respectful person in this world. So thank you. In the classrooms of Ms. Rotaro, along with, I don't believe they are here, but still, Professor Marquez and Professor Mona at Mason College, I discovered the joy of learning and the joy of challenge thanks to your passions. Without your help, I wouldn't have disconnected myself from the grid. I wouldn't have pursued challenging problems because I now enjoy them. Ultimately, I discovered intrinsic motivation because of your classes, and it will most certainly fuel my most rewarding academic endeavors in the future. So thank you for that. To Coach Watkins, you gave me so much autonomy as the captain of the set cross-country and track and field teams. Through this, I found my voice as a leader. And more importantly, I learned that responsibility is a privilege, not a burden. So thank you. Mr. Montello, you enlightened me about nuclear power. And thanks to your passion, I think I discovered my career and my lifelong purpose in nuclear engineering and the commercial nuclear power industry. So thank you for that. Dr. McCurdy, you were there for me in all of my darkest moments. You never gave up on me, even when I had given up myself. And without your support, you pulling me in while I was reading a book during lunch, when I was sad, when I was hurt, I would not have my resilience or my future at the Franklin W. Olin College of Engineering. So thank you for that. And finally, to all my peers, both from Set High, outside of Set, and Mesa College, you got me out of my shell. I used to consider myself an introvert, but that is certainly no longer true. You all gave me a reason and the desire to engage myself in this culture, whether it be playing ping pong in Egyptian war, attending various social events and dances, or generally helping create and lead new student organizations. I owe you for who I am and how I found my social responsibility. So thank you for all your kind words and kind moments. I can confidently say that choosing to attend Set High and intern Mesa College was one of, if not the most consequential decisions of my life. But I have not a single regret from that decision. To all my family, friends, classmates, colleagues, mentors, and teachers who have supported me along this wonderful journey, I owe you a debt of gratitude, because without you all, I would not be the man standing before you today. When I was writing the speech, I was reminded of a moment with Miss Geis. She complimented me on my work ethic, and my response was, well, you made me. I still stand by that statement, emphatically. None of this happened by chance. You all made me into the impassioned academic, the athlete, the social entrepreneur, the scientist, the engineer, the leader, and above all, the joyful soul that I am today. So once more, thank you for everything you have given me. Now, ever since it was announced I would be given this honor as valedictorian, a question has itched in the back of my mind. That question was, do I really deserve this? I think the real question I have been asking myself is, why am I, of all these students, one of the two who gets to speak today? Ultimately, I believe my doubts have one particular origin. I appear to embody the successful student, but I fall short compared to my peers in the other qualities of a human being. I have not been the greatest friend. At best, I have been inconsistent and not present. I am by no means the kindest or most moral person here. I have never had to overcome adversity like some of my peers, and I certainly don't possess the same grit that they do. I think the reality is, I got lucky. I got lucky because I found myself aligned with the societal expectations of success. But that does not mean everybody else is a failure. Quite the contrary, I believe. This really begs the question, if our societal metrics, wealth, fame, power, and education are not the right measures of success, what are? What is success, truly? Too often, we as a society forget about all the other forms of success. The person who, day in and day out, motivates everyone around them with a beaming smile will eventually drive the productivity of a small workforce. That is no small feat. But that is no small feat, and it is a feat worth applauding. But they may never get the praise they deserve. The teacher who inspires generations of innovators and change makers may not be successful in terms of amassing a fortune or developing a global brand. But they are, by all means, positively influencing the people around them and the world they are living in. I think the problem is that we as a society have agreed to this limiting set of metrics of success. But I believe there is a much more general, a much more universal answer to success. I believe there to be 3 questions to determine whether or not you as a human being are achieving the fundamental goals in life. And they are as follows. 1, are you joyful? Have you given yourself something to jump out of bed for every single morning? Have you developed the most important thing within yourself? Happiness. 2, have you helped the people around you? Have you spread smiles, joy, and gratitude to others with your actions and your presence? Ultimately, have you helped others discover the joy in life? And finally, 3, have you improved the world around you? Our progression as a society depends on the contributions of the individual. So how have your contributions driven growth within the community around you? If you fulfill these essential criteria of our human existence, no matter what society tells you, I believe you are a success. And I think you should too. I encourage you to rewrite in your minds what success means to you. Whenever the world questions your success because of your lack of fame, power, or money, I ask you to search in your heart for the answers to those 3 questions. Are you joyful? Have you helped the people around you? And have you improved the world around you? Because I'm sure you are far more successful than the world gives you credit for. I would like to end today with some words of wisdom from Richard Feynman, a famous physicist from the late 20th century. He once said, "You have no responsibility to live up to what other people think you ought to accomplish. I have no responsibility to be like they expect me to be. It's their mistake, not my failing." It's unlikely that everyone here will become rich, famous, powerful, and well-educated. And unfortunately, society may spit in your face because of that. but I hope that never discourages any one of you. Because regardless of what the people around you expect of you, by becoming a content, selfless, and impactful person in this world, you can be a success, so long as you believe it. And ultimately, that's all that matters. You can be enough. What I hope you take home with yourselves today is the idea that you do not need the recognition of society. Because society is not fair in recognizing success. But if you know in your minds and in your hearts that you are a success, or at least that you are on the road to success, you should find no resistance in leading a joyful and a rewarding life. Thank you all for listening.
Let's graduate some students. Miss Lennon and Miss Lennon's graduates, can you come up?
It's going to be difficult to follow those speeches by Justin and Austin. Can everyone hear me okay? Great. I first met Kiana when she quietly slipped into the back row of my classroom 3 years ago. From the beginning, her calm presence stood out. I knew right away that she was thoughtful, diligent, and immensely dedicated. You see, Kiana is genuine. She doesn't seek attention. She doesn't make noise. She simply does her best and lets her actions speak for themselves. Kiana is Kiana, and that means being persistent, focused, a quiet achiever, and perhaps a bit underestimated. But Kiana knows her worth, as does the rest of the staff at SET. She understands her journey, and she isn't afraid to walk it. Kiana, I'll leave you with these words by Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. Congratulations. To me, Grady Cole will always be the keeper of historical knowledge. I don't think anyone knows more, and that's saying a lot. Grady's leadership qualities are unmistakable. When I first taught Grady, I knew right away they were driven, passionate, and a natural activist. Grady is a truth seeker. Grady doesn't shy away from difficult conversations and doesn't sugarcoat reality. Grady pursues knowledge with relentless fervor. Grady is a historian, a tireless advocate, and occasionally a stark realist. But Grady doesn't worry if their candidness makes others uncomfortable, because they are committed to the truth. Grady understands the power of knowledge, and Grady isn't afraid to wield it. Tolkien once wrote, "Home is behind, the world ahead. There are many paths to tread, through shadows to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight." Always remember that. I'm so proud of you on this special day. This next student makes me proud each and every day. Ben de los Rios is a student who always has met the high standards with his brilliant, creative writing. He never complains, he always greets everyone with a warm hello and goodbye, and he genuinely makes every staff member on campus feel appreciated. Over the last 4 years, I've watched him transform from a quiet, reserved boy into a resilient young man who expresses himself beautifully through his words. I will miss his calming presence, his extraordinary stories, and his unwavering dedication. I'm sad that I won't see you on campus next year, but I'm excited to see the incredible worlds you will create with your writing and film at SDSU. Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time. You are one of those few, Ben. Congratulations." Sammy Foster is a one-of-a-kind whirlwind of energy and honesty. Her blunt truthfulness is as refreshing as it is entertaining, and her quirky charm lights up any room she walks into. In the 2 years I've known her, she's made me laugh countless times with her hilarious outbursts and sharp wit. Sammy isn't afraid to call things as she sees them, but she does it with such a unique flair that you can't help but smile. What's more, she has this amazing ability to admit her mistakes with a bit of comedy, turning every slip-up into a moment of laughter and learning. Whether she's making us all giggle with her latest joke or offering an unexpectedly profound observation, Sammy brings a vibrant joy to our school. I'm going to miss her humor, her honesty, and her wonderful spirit, but I'm excited to see how she'll continue to brighten the world. I hope you'll always remember this quote by Emerson: "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. You are you, and we love you for it." Happy graduation day. Drew Freitas is a kind young man. He spends a lot of his time focused on schoolwork or quietly enjoying time with his friends. Drew isn't always quick to participate, but he's quick to help his peers when called upon. In English 10, I don't think Drew participated aloud unless he was forced to. But still, I could tell he was going to be a wonderful student and young man. Now watching him graduate, I'm proud of his accomplishments and resilience. Drew is reliable, thoughtful, and focused. He has the maturity to focus on his long-term goals rather than fall into the trap of instant gratification. This will take him far in life, because I know he will be able to manage his time wisely when the rest of the world might tempt him otherwise. Drew is a joy, and I look forward to seeing him thrive as an adult. Epictetus said, "When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval." You'll never have to do that. It's an honor to graduate you today. Bug Gray is an artist. Bug is a calm storm, full of deep emotion and insight. But Bug's calm demeanor can sometimes overshadow their profound ability to grasp complex ideas and feelings. Bug has an uncanny knack for understanding intricate concepts and emotions, always leaving space for reflection and growth. When I think of Bug, I see a thoughtful young person who embraces the depth of their thoughts and fears. I see someone who is always willing to explore and challenge themselves intellectually. Teaching Bug is an absolute joy. They engage in classes the way teachers dream students will. Bug listens intently, asks thoughtful questions, and contributes meaningfully to discussions. Their curiosity and dedication to learning create a dynamic and enriching classroom environment. Bug's presence in the classroom is a testament to the power of thoughtful engagement and the joy of teaching a student who truly values the learning experience. Bug, I want you to remember these wise words by Alice Walker. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. You are always powerful. It's a privilege to be standing with you today. This next student has been in one of my classes every single semester for the last 2.5 years. Rowan Kinn is a genuinely inspiring young individual. He has the ability to excel with grace and kindness, embodying the qualities of a future author and teacher. In the 3 years since I've known him, I've never seen him act without thinking. He is a careful observer who has the rare ability to respond to every situation with grace and calmness. This is because he listens. Not listens as in follows the rules, but listens as in seeks understanding. He listens to his peers, his teachers, and himself. But the best part is he asks questions when he doesn't understand. One cannot learn until they listen, and Rowan has mastered this. He is a student who approaches everything with thoughtfulness and a genuine desire to do good. I'm beyond proud to see him move forward towards his bright future. Samwise Gamgee said, "There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for." Rowan, I know you will always fight for the good in the world. Congratulations. Rachel is a student who will be missed sorely. She can do anything she sets her mind to because she has the drive and focus of someone wise beyond their years. I remember her coming into my class and seeming so unsure of herself and her writing ability. As time went on, she learned to trust herself and dedicate her time to her passions. This allowed her to thrive and open herself up to all she could be. She impresses me often with her commitment to truth and fairness. Anything she does, Rachel does with strength and determination, making her a successful student and person. I've loved watching Rachel grow into the strong person she is today, and I hope she knows the legacy her time on this campus will leave after today. Oscar Wilde said, "Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinion. Their lives mimicry. Their passions a quotation. That will never be you." Join me in congratulating Rachel. Michael is a unique young man. When I first taught him in English 11, I was unexpectedly challenged to a staring contest I had no idea I'd be participating in until I accidentally looked in his direction. He won, of course. That's how he starts every day before entering my classroom, intensely staring into my classroom through the window in the door, wearing sunglasses and never moving his head. I have to admit, I've come to enjoy these quirks of his, and I will miss seeing him standing outside my door next year. Michael is a smart young man, and his writing is a testament to his critical thinking skills and his passion for learning. Every paper Michael writes is carefully calculated. Each word is precisely placed to perfection. Michael is a leader on our campus, and he will be missed by students and staff. Thoreau says, to be a philosopher is not merely to have subtle thoughts, nor even to found a school. It is to solve some of the problems of life, not only theoretically, but practically. You can change the world with your words. Don't be afraid to. Congratulations, Michael. Naomi Moreland is a remarkable young woman whose wisdom and brilliance have left an indelible mark on our campus. Throughout her time at SET, she has demonstrated an unparalleled depth of thought in her academic pursuits, consistently achieving high grades and earning the respect of her teachers and peers alike. Naomi's ability to think critically and engage deeply with complex subjects is truly impressive, and her thoughtful contributions have often left me stunned that a student so young could be so mature and wise. When I first met Naomi, she spoke very little, often working quietly and independently. Even in doing so, she seemed so engaged in her learning. I could tell she poured her heart and soul into every assignment. The last 2 years, I've had the privilege of seeing Naomi's dedication to her art take hold of her. She's produced several works of art, each one more complex than the one before, but all have captured her vulnerability and deep understanding of life and herself. I'm consistently blown away and inspired by you. Georgia O'Keeffe once said, "Whether you succeed or not is irrelevant. There is no such thing. Making your unknown known is the most important thing. So make your unknown known." Spirit, congratulations, Naomi. But I think that's what makes her so extraordinary. It's always the leaders who don't want the power, or who have no idea of the power they wield, who are the most loved and remembered. Olivia stands up for people who need an advocate, for people who have less than she does, and for people who maybe have no voice at all. She's done all of this, all while maintaining high grades and volunteering in her free time. We are all lucky to know Olivia because we now know what it's like to have an ally in our corner. I want to leave you with this quote by Margaret Mead. "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Congratulations, Olivia. Go change the world. Anthony Quinn is the absolute best student to call on to read. Even without knowing the material, he will immediately burst into character, somehow knowing the exact right way to read a passage or portray a character. In contrast to this, he is generally rather quiet and reserved, but his dry humor drenches everything he does. I once asked, "Who is Edgar Allan Poe?" hoping to elicit responses of his work, persona, and the lasting influence he had on society. Anthony responded, "Poe is a dead man currently rotting inside a tomb in Westminster Presbyterian Church." All I could do was laugh and say, "Well, yes he is." For those of you who don't know, this is a typical Anthony response. Anthony is a future innovator, asking questions and looking at life from a perspective that few even consider. He is kind, genuine, thoughtful, and a leader. Mark Twain tells us, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to reform, or pause and reflect. I wish you all the best. Congratulations. Every few years, a student comes along who says something so profound that I feel like a student again, learning from a wise young person who probably has no idea that they put me in a position to re-examine my teaching style. Orchid Shapiro is one of those students. Orchid constantly speaks in ways mirroring that of an upper division philosophy professor, quietly forcing us all to privately recommit to our beliefs or else change for the better. Orchid once stated, "Everyone wants young people to be the most, to do their best 100% of the time. But if I'm happy and comfortable, why isn't that enough?" I could not comprehend the question. It was so perfect, so important to think about, and I had never considered that in regard to my students. That day, I adjusted my curriculum, teaching style, and expectations. I feel I'm a better teacher and person because of that question, and I owe that all to Orchid. I want to leave you with these words by Thich Nhat Hanh. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. You are beautiful. I'm proud of you. Congratulations, Orchid. If you've ever met Aridin, you most likely saw his computer before you saw his face. When Aridin first walked into my classroom, he was holding his laptop up to his face with one hand, navigating the mouse pad with his other hand, and I'm pretty sure he was playing a game. I remember thinking, oh no, this isn't going to be good. I made a point to call on him right away, just to teach him a lesson. To my surprise, he answered the question so quickly, nonchalantly, and most importantly, accurately, then went right back to his computer. The joke was indeed on me. What I'm sure most of his peers know now is Aridin is brilliant. He can write a fabulous paper in less than 30 minutes, and if you read it, you'd think a college professor wrote it. When Aridin puts effort into his learning, he is unstoppable. It's been a joy to see Aridin thrive at our school, and while I'm sad to see him leave, I look forward to the bright future he has ahead of him. Always remember, the pen is mightier than the sword. Use your pen for good. Congratulations, Aridin. And now Ms. Castro and her graduates may come to the front of the stage.
Beloved Royals, you have a quiet / smart / pensive energy about you that reminds me of me at your age. As quiet as you are, I know you have something to say. Later, I learned that you use writing as a way to express your inner thoughts, which is only confirmation to me that I know you have something to say. Because I cherish the conversations we had when we spoke. I thought to myself, whenever you were about to talk, oh my gosh, she spoke. Pay attention, it's important, and it matters. And at the end of our conversations, I thought, wow, she's reflective, she's smart, she's nice, she's pretty. I know that you face some obstacles, and guess what? You might face obstacles again. I hope you tune inward to be reminded of who you are and how far you have come. Don't ever forget that what you have to say is important, and it matters. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. Dices Iseli Alemán. When I first met you, I thought, when I first met you through Zoom, I thought, wow, she has such a cool style. She must be very creative. You didn't show up in your PJs or in bed. You looked like you were ready to go. I love how you express yourself with your outfits. It's the small details that impress me the most. It communicates to me and the world that you show up for yourself and you're ready to go. When you started attending school in person, I thought, wow, Alma Guerrera. You made it known that you're interested in learning more about your history, and you wanted to learn more with a protective intention. You made it known that your history matters, the truth matters, equality matters. And here you are. You let people know the real deal. You will not stand by someone who is disrespectful to your friends or to anyone really. You ended up helping create awareness at SET, sharing your culture with the school by being president of the first Mecha Club I've witnessed in 6 years. Congrats, you made it happen because you show up for yourself with intention and purpose. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. Magda Garcia, or as I call you, Magdi. Semestre tras semestre, madrugada tras madrugada. El sacrificio, el compromiso y el valor de sumergirte en un espacio incómodo. Comunicas al mundo amor propio y compromiso a ti misma y a un mejor futuro. Magda wakes up as early as 4 a.m. to get in a long line to cross the border, to then catch a bus, to then catch a trolley, to then catch another bus, then to walk to school.
Oh my God.
It really hits different when I list all those steps out loud like that. Yo compartí mucho tiempo con Magda, porque mi intención era ayudarla. Y la que me ayudó fue ella. Me recordó con esfuerzo se puede, aunque uno esté cansado. Me inspiraste cuando tú solo te esforzaste para hablar inglés, cuando pedías ayuda en alguna materia y cuando animabas a tus amigos a participar. I want to say how incredibly proud I am of you today. Estoy totalmente orgullosa de ti. You have shown us that success is not just about intelligence, but the willing to go the extra mile. Nos has enseñado que el éxito no solo se trata de inteligencia, sino el esfuerzo adicional. Deseo que grabes este momento, cómo estás vestida, cómo estás peinada, cómo te sientes. Te pido que este momento en tu vida sea un recordatorio para ti. Cuando algo te haga difícil, piensa en este momento. Cuando dudes en ti, piensa en este momento. Cuando estés cansada, piensa en este momento. Sí se puede y siempre podrás. You standing here is a true testament to the hard-working person you are. Estoy muy emocionada por tu futuro. Felicidades, Magdi. Lo lograste. Introducing Mr. Snow and his graduates.
Isaac, I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the amazing journey of Isaac Ramos. You've truly been a dedicated player on our volleyball team, not just with your incredible sets, passes, but with your leadership and determination. Many times you have been the positive voice on the team through victories and our learning moments. Your support extends beyond our team. You've been a fantastic mentor to our girls volleyball players, always ready to lend a hand or share a piece of advice. Your willingness to help has made our volleyball sports program stronger. Isaac, your journey hasn't been without its challenges. Battling mental health issues takes immense courage, and your return to set and the court has shown us all the power of resilience. Your story is a reminder that we can overcome anything with the right mindset and support. As you graduate, we're excited to know that you'll still be around, continue to inspire and assist our sports teams. Your dedication and positive spirit are invaluable to us all. Thank you, Isaac, for being a fantastic leader, teammate, and friend. Congratulations. You're so good. I'd like to call up Ms. Kozik.
Scarlett, any day I get to work with you is a good day. Your sass, your kindness, your work ethic, and your humor make you so incredibly you. I love how you express yourself so uniquely through clothing, makeup, and cosplay. You're not afraid to be yourself, and that is so empowering to those around you. You empower me too. You have grown so much over these past 4 years, from a shy student hesitant to talk even in a small setting, to an outgoing and sociable friend who constantly checks in on her people. You make your relationships with others a priority, and because of this, you make the people in your life feel important. You emit sincerity, and you care for those around you, and it's evident every day. In a world where differences often lead to division, Scarlett, you have consistently demonstrated a talent for bringing people together. Your openness to other people's beliefs and opinions in a diverse community like ours is invaluable. Thank you for always being yourself. You are a beautiful soul, and the world is a better place with you in it. Congratulations. Jack. The first word that comes to mind when I think of you is respectful. You have always been so incredibly respectful to both adults and your peers, no matter your relationships with them. You have a way with words, and it is always a joy to talk to you. You are thoughtful, you are reflective, and you're aware of your strengths and your challenges. You take accountability for your actions, and you talk through ways you can do better. You've expressed that even hard things have a purpose, and do not see challenges as barriers, but more so obstacles that you can overcome and be better for. I have no doubt that you will be successful, because not only are you a people person, but you care about making sure that everyone around you is heard and understood. You have a beautiful perspective on life. You have such talent when it comes to fixing things, and I appreciate that you'll be able to mix your talents and your passions into a career one day. I hope you keep competing on your one wheel and living your dream every day, for that is the ultimate goal in life. Congratulations. 103 days. It took you 103 days to start responding to my Google Chats regularly freshman year. I was ghosted for so many Google Meets. But finally you gave in, and thank goodness you did, because Adam, you make people's lives better, mine included. You may not always be where you're supposed to be. You may not always be doing what you're supposed to be doing. But what I've learned about you is that your heart could not be bigger. You care deeply about people. You show up for people. You go out of your way to make sure those around you are taken care of. And often, you do more for others than you do for yourself. There are few people I would trust to make decorations for my wedding, or drive me and my baby to work when I lock myself out of the house. But you, I trust. No matter how many jokes you make, or how many assignments you avoid, you are through and through a good and compassionate human being. Mix that with your incredible talent and skills, and I know you have a full life of success ahead of you. Thank you for all you have done at SET, for your friends, for me, but most importantly for yourself. Your legacy will last, and I hope your snacks do too. Congratulations. Elijah, you are a man of few words, but when you choose to speak, you make those words count. Your subtle and quiet humor can leave a room in stitches for those fortunate enough to hear it. We never know what you're going to come up with, but we always know it'll be good. You are kind, thoughtful, funny, and talented. I look forward to working with you each day because I know you will always work hard and try your best. Thank you for being a teacher to me too. I love learning new magic tricks, karate moves, and jokes from you. I love that you love learning math and often request more math in your free time. Watching you hang out with your friends in the library is a highlight of my day because it's pure happiness, and seeing you happy makes me happy too. Thank you for being a good role model to younger students and leading by example. Your dedication and perseverance have brought you here today, and I am proud of the care you put into everything you do. Keep kicking butt in karate, literally, and in life, and keep being so incredibly you. Congratulations. Gunner, you exemplify so many qualities that we hope to see in our students. You have a remarkable willingness to try new things. You consistently stand up for the underdog, showing compassion and a strong sense of justice. Your morals have guided you through difficult situations, always choosing what is right over what is easy. This has earned you the respect and admiration of your peers and teachers alike. In your journey towards independence, you have grown immensely, learning to rely on yourself while also recognizing the importance of community and teamwork. You always strive to see both sides of every story, seeking the truth with an open mind and an open heart. You encourage open communication, creating an environment where everyone feels heard and valued. Your goal has always been to inspire others to reach their full potential, which is a beautiful thing. You have a unique ability to make people smile. Thank you for being you, and congratulations on this accomplishment.
Buenos dias. How's everybody doing out there? All right, we got Ashton. Ashton, we move from chapter to chapter, revealing more about ourselves and where the journey takes us. And here we are, perhaps part 2, chapter 1, Crimson Roses on a Promising Sunrise. You've known frustrations, heartbreak, struggles, and yet you have persevered and remained powerful. Ashton. There's so much more now to read, to learn, to live, and to experience. A whole life, a whole nother part, and many more chapters to your life. What's crazy is I know your story is going to help others. I know that your story is going to make a difference in the world. Your heart bleeds the ink ever so passionately with might. I've said this before, but you're a writer at your very soul. And it's because of these challenges that your writing will be powerful, like me. Part 2, Chapter 1, Crimson Roses on a Promising Sunrise. Catherine Bean. What a bright and wise young lady Katie is. If you know Katie, you know she's not loud or in need of attention. She's poised, calm, and cool. She doesn't need approval. She's powerful that way. But she's not cold like Boomerang's Nebula. Those who don't know her but wish they did don't know she's so big-hearted, a colossal warm heart. Thing is, she has discernment. And this is true for her in life in general. She's not a try-hard or someone who needs to prove anything to anyone. She doesn't have to. Neither does she complicate things. She can enjoy life for its beautiful phenomenon. In fact, I'll read you a poem that I feel encapsulates Katie's son. It's short. It's by Walt Whitman. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure. When I sitting heard the astronomer where he lectured with applause in the lectured room, how soon unaccountable I became tired and sick. Till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself.